everybody, welcome to the Me and My Boyfriend Nicole podcast, and I'm Aurora. I'm back again from the future. Hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. This is just a continuation of last week. We're picking up where we left off. All right, enjoy. Love you guys. Bye. Also, Nicole couldn't be here again. She was making mango sticky rice or something. I don't know. It's like our new favorite thing. Enjoy. So, now were you saying the bone you had to pick with women and cuddling?
Oh, so let me, this is what it is. Now, as a whole, you guys are way more giving than we are. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying generally, not every last one of everybody, but from my, your mothers or children, you guys like giving your time. To me, as a whole, you're better with kids, especially at that age, than we are. That's just what it is. But when it comes to cuddling, you guys are very selfish. Very, very selfish. Right? No matter what, let's just say that the prototypical cuddling is a spooning, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm big spoon, you little spoon. Everything is catered around you in the situation, right? If you're a hot natured person, right, that means you gotta have the very little coverings on you. That means the big spoon's gotta be that way. If you're a cold natured person, you got 88 blankets on you, and you expect the big spoon to be that way too, right? That's not cool because I gotta deal with your body heat. Right, and all them damn blankets around me. I am on fire. Okay, I don't like it. I like the cuddling position, right? Because I'm getting everything I want. Right, I'm getting the intimacy of cuddling. Right, I'm touching your butt. Everything's great. However, I'm on fire. Mm-hmm. So when I do stuff to remedy that situation, and you don't like it, you're just being selfish.
Don't like what?
For instance, so. If I'm big spoon, you're little spoon, right? And you're a cold natured person, you got 88 blankets on, right? I'm a hot natured person, so I want one. Mm-hmm. 2 and 1 on my little feet, I'm good to go. Mm-hmm. So if I'm cuddling with you and I expose my whole backside, but you're totally covered. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I got half my body is full of air and half my body is with your sun natured heat from your body. Mm-hmm. I'm compromising, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But if you go to sit there and say, why are you doing that? First of all, it's none of your damn business why I'm doing that.
Why are you doing what? Why you only haven't,
yes.
You ain't got no blanket on the back
yes,
part?
Yes.
What's that got to do with anything?
Exactly, that's my back part.
Right? I mean, I think anybody that has an issue with that needs some psychological help.
I'm trying to tell you how, this is not just one woman. I'm just saying, like, and all dudes have this.
Maybe it's the women
No. I'll give you a better example. All dudes have this problem, right? They call it, when she got her head on your chest, right? Mm-hmm. So that means your arm is underneath her head.
And it's falling asleep.
It's falling asleep. And when I do this with my fingers so I don't lose my entire arm.
Mm-hmm. So you don't lose your entire arm.
Yeah, it almost falls off.
It's going to fall off?
It's going to fall off. And I'm sitting there doing this. Don't be mad because I'm moving.
Okay.
Life is not sitting around you when you sleeping, okay?
So let me explain my facial expression right now. I've been looking at you like you're crazy through this whole thing because in my mind right now, I'm going, what? First, why you gotta be big spoon and I gotta be little spoon? Maybe I want to cuddle you. Why is that not a thing, right?
Boobs on my back. I love boobs on my back. Makes me happy.
Right? What is the big deal? Like, if I'm cold, I should be snuggling deeper into you, which hopefully is going to turn into something else, and get warmed up. Rather than, like, why do I care if you have a blanket on or not, as long as I'm happy and you making me happy? And that's what, because obviously you're hot and I'm freezing, mm-hmm. and you're willing to have my body heat against you, everything else, just so that I'm happy. Like, that's awesome. Why would I have a problem with it? So for me, and then the whole hand thing too, where you're like, my hand's going to sleep, and you're moving your arm and someone's getting upset. I'm like, I would never get upset with that. This just totally shows me that, okay, I've been picking the wrong people this whole time because I have never encountered that situation where it would be a problem. I would think that was fabulous.
Well, listen, I would just like, I don't get that. To me, I'm like, oh wow, he's willing to meet me halfway. Like he's willing to be a little hot. So I'm with you. I'm like, oh, right? He's willing to be a little bit hot.
Every woman says that.
But when in practice,
it never first of all, you guys don't.
Maybe it's the quality of women you're
not quality. It's the type of people. Because I just had this conversation with my sister, like literally just had this phone conversation because she goes, "Am I ever going to be able to be with someone who likes to cuddle?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, like am with someone or have been with people and nobody ever wants to cuddle except for if they want sex or something like that. She's like, just laying together and just being together. And I'm like, I've had that a ton. You know, there's 7+ billion people in the world. I guarantee there's somebody. She's like, I really don't think there is. There's nobody. She's in her 30s. And she's like, I really just don't. I think that's something I'm going to have to give up to be in a relationship. And I'm like,
no.
For real? Like, no. You just haven't dated enough people or found like there is somebody for you. You know? So I'm saying with you, I just don't think that.
No, granted. Now listen. Now the particular things I've had have been very high quality women, right? You liked one of them.
You said have been very high quality women?
I didn't mean quality. I meant by you're maybe not picking compatible people in the sense of compromise.
Well, no, that's the thing. Most of it's like in every other area, they're very giving, compromising, right? Both people have to be submissive in a relationship. But when you deal with a sleepy woman, it's a different story. You guys are very mean people.
No. Who hurt you, Daniel?
I've been hurt before.
Right? Right.
Well, I'm just saying it's mean. Like, it's mean-natured to be... But then again, anywho.
Well, I don't think it's a question of high quality or low quality. They can be very high quality. It could just not be the right person for you.
That's what I mean.
Because none of them are here now, right?
Well, yeah.
So... It didn't work out for one reason or another, and that's just one of the components that was not compatible.
Not to change the subject, but let me tell you how dope women are. So sometimes a woman can make you see in slow motion.
So what?
Yeah, sometimes a woman can make you see in slow motion. Just like sometimes a woman can make the sun shine brighter, and sometimes she can make it go away. So meaning that, especially when you get a dude of age, you notice different things about a woman. And then she'll say something and do something. You'll be like, oh, wow. So what I mean by that, I went on a date with the lady I'm seeing now, right? And we had plans and the plans didn't come through, right? And then so I was like, well, my bad. It didn't work out the way it's supposed to work out. And she said the dopest thing ever. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but to a dude, this was like, she was like, baby, we in the truck. Let's just ride.
Aww.
What? You know how like that got all my attention. I was like, who is this woman? And I need to know more about her. And that was such a beautiful thing. And I know most people like, oh, wow, but no, that right there, yes, that's dope.
Can I hear that again?
Yes.
Okay.
But that you recognize that too, you know?
That's dope. Like little stuff like that is dope.
Well, it's usually indicative of like a bigger moment. Like, if something were to happen, okay, this is a person that is not going to punk out just because it gets hard, or maybe she needs to do a little bit more, do things a little bit differently. Like, she's willing to go with the flow. Like, that's very attractive. Like, because life throws you all kinds of obstacles. And if someone is willing not to break down, but be like, hey, we still got all these things. Like, it's a very attractive quality in a partner to know that they're not going to leave at the first sign of trouble.
Well, and it means a lot too when things don't go as planned and they're like, hey, I'm just here because I want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
And whatever we're doing is fine.
Yeah.
Like, that means a lot.
They just want to be near you. Yeah.
Yeah, she was dope. I mean, she still is dope. But, that's and let me know that I didn't have to entertain her. You know what I mean? I think a lot of dudes get in that trap, especially if they do like a woman. They do all these things to get her attention. And then they realize, oh, I got to entertain her for the rest of her life. No, that's not cool.
So we talked about this earlier with India. You cannot set a standard of how you are going to treat somebody and then change the way you act and then act surprised when they're like, why are we not doing the same things we were doing before? Like, if you are setting a precedent for the rest of your relationship. If you go out and act like you're good old fun times all the time, but really you're a dude that likes to stay home and chill out on the couch, you probably shouldn't paint yourself as somebody that likes to go out and do fun times every weekend if you're not that guy. Because the girl's going to be like, I thought we were people that go hiking and go jump off of mountains into cliff rocks and everything, and you really just want to stay home.
Or even just go try different restaurants.
Yeah.
Or go to the movies or
I'm
bowling or whatever.
Here.
But I mean, anything, you know? And, you know, there's nothing wrong with you're more of a Netflix and chill person, you know? But just what's going on here?
It's all about being genuine.
Right? Well, I think, though, sometimes it is more about the hunt and the chase of it, the thrill of that, than it is about actually the person.
Right.
And as time goes on, and sometimes it's a very, very short amount of time, once you know you got that person, then it's kind of like
you don't feel like you have to try anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, okay, what now?
Yeah.
You know, and keeping it interesting.
Yeah.
And that, which I feel like when it's the right person, it shouldn't be that hard.
No, I agree. To me, what's indicative, and I find this like friendships, like romantic relationships, whatever. To me, a good sign is it doesn't matter what you guys are doing, you're having a good time. Mm-hmm. Like,
absolutely,
you're having a good time. Conversations flowing. You know, you're vibing. Like, you may have disagreements, but nobody's like butthurt or like whatever. Like, you're just having a good time no matter where you are. Like, I'm always like, ooh, that's the feeling you're chasing.
Well, and I think one of the keys to happiness in life is not putting so much into the future of something and just enjoying the moment and just having fun no matter what. Whether you're on a date, whether you're hanging with your friends, whether you're out enjoying a sunset by yourself, whatever, it's just being in that moment, you know? And that it doesn't matter how things turn out. It doesn't matter if the relationship works out. It doesn't matter if the job works out or whatever. You know, every no gets you closer to the yes for you, you know? And how a lot of those no's can turn into a beautiful thing, you know? And you're not wasting your time, you know? Not that you're ever wasting your time, but...
I think that's people's biggest fear is wasting time.
Well, because time's the one thing you can't get more of.
It's true. I mean, but what you said is dope, because she said something to me recently. She said, I realized I never would have been ready for you before. I was, that means in my mind, I was like, she's put deep thought into this, which is really dope.
Yeah.
And that takes you to another level, to another place.
Yeah.
You know? That someone is happy that they've been through things.
Right.
So that they're ready for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not ready for a relationship, but ready for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And she said something very similar to what you said. Which is dope.
That's deep, yo. That's deep, bro.
Which is so funny because that's where I've taken myself off of the dating track.
Oh, Lord.
Right? But because I kept dating the same type of people over and over and over again.
And expecting different results.
Every time. I'm like, just because they had a different name and a different face didn't mean it was anybody different. And I'm like, I obviously need to work on me for a little bit and figure out what exactly I want, where I'm at, what is it that I'm looking for in life, in love, whatever, so that I can get right for when that right person comes around. You know, and not miss that opportunity, not miss that person.
Well,
or not be ready for it.
To me, what that sounds like is you keep trying to learn the same lesson over and over and over. Because every relationship teaches you something about yourself. You just get, a few more pieces fall into the puzzle. So whatever you were trying to learn, clearly you weren't getting it.
It's the same lesson that we all got to learn before we ready to be ready for the right one. Self-love, self-appreciation, being at peace with yourself, not putting on someone else to validate you.
Yeah.
And making them responsible for your happiness, being happy in yourself so that you can, enjoy the company of someone else and not have expectations set so high for them that, it's not fair to them.
Right.
I think one of my biggest things that I see as a tragedy is seeing someone lose themselves in somebody else. To me, that is one of the most heartbreaking things I can ever watch.
You know, which is so funny because that's what I always wanted, was to lose myself in someone. And then when it really happened and then they left, it was like,
who are you?
Who am I? Like, it was, I had no identity whatsoever if I was not with that person.
I think for a lot of people, especially females, I know it's how bad it's going to sound. If you can get past the fear of being by yourself, life gets so much easier for you. It did for me. And I see a lot of, if this is my assumption, if a lot of females can get past that fear, that's where that confidence comes from.
Well, and for me, it was so cliche. It was an abandonment issue. My father left, you know, with his secretary. Man, it's like the oldest story.
It's cliche.
Book, right? And then how those life patterns happen over and over in your life. And then my husband left me for the secretary.
Ooh.
Oh, honey, it gets better. I was 13. Our son was 13. Like, it was like mirror, mirror on the wall, right?
Ooh.
Yes.
That's oogly boogly.
I know, right? But the beautiful thing was, and it took me a while to realize, was that I needed that happen.
Yeah.
Because the one thing is, even though the relationship ended, he didn't abandon me. He didn't abandon our child. He, you know, helped me financially, emotionally, you know, in so many ways, to where it, in a weird way, him leaving but still being there for us, helped to heal me through those abandonment issues. Just because something ends doesn't mean that
it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, that we're still family regardless.
Right.
And I had never had that before. And recently, very recently, I told him, my ex, my son's father, that I was proud of him for leaving. I really, really was. Not the way that he did it.
No.
But that he did do it. That he wasn't happy, that I wasn't happy. And us continuing to do this over and over and over again to where we made each other feel horrible was ridiculous. It was totally ridiculous. I mean, I was madly in love with him. But I think there was a part of me that was just madly in love with being in love. And sticking it out no matter what.
The idea of it.
Working on it and giving everything to it. And, you know, that ride or die, you know, feeling more than truly being madly in love with him and, you know, feeling that cherished just bond. It was much more of a codependent, you know, both of our traumas from childhood and everything else bonded us together. And it became more, in a weird way, not just like a roommate thing, but more like a sibling, like brother-sister thing.
Yeah.
You know, to where the sex had died off in the relationship, you know, everything else. But we're still working on it. We're still staying together.
I had a very inappropriate joke that went through my brain.
Go for it.
No, well, you know, the big category on porn now is incest. So really,
oh Lord Jesus,
you guys were ahead of the game.
You shouldn't have went for it. You should have went for
I should.
Red light.
I told you.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, you know, so.
Sorry, it was right there.
But I did tell him that I was really proud of him, and he said thank you to me for that. That he really needed to hear that, and I'm like, we're both at a much happier, much healthier place, and able to be there for our child more, you know. And I am very, very lucky, very blessed in the fact that not only has he been there for our child we physically had together, but also my two children I had, you know, that he helped raise before we got together, that aren't his children, that him telling them that they're still his sons and that he'll always be there for him, which I think you can relate to that, you know.
That's dope. I don't like my kids. I'm just putting that on record.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, he adores them.
That's not the point.
Yeah. What do you think is some challenges being a father nowadays?
Because nobody, a lot of us, and like I see this, just men my age, and I mean more of my racial background, but I see a lot more in the white people's thoughts too. They don't know how to be a father because they never saw it. You know what I mean? So you have, you know, what you think is right, but most of the time it's not right. You're just like, okay. And plus, nobody says you got to go with the individual, what the individual kid is like. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's tough. I'm glad the the years of me child rearing are almost over. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that. But I don't know. Kids make life hard. They're very ungrateful, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I know I hate to say it that way, but I mean, when you're that age, you are ungrateful because you think life revolves around you, especially in this society. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I was always a kid who looked at other kids stupid. Like, why are you mad you didn't get the PS4? You know. But you grew up with kids who were like, I'm mad at my mom because I didn't get what I wanted type shit. And I hate that personally, but it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And now you can't do anything about it because they see it on TV, they see it on everything. So if you do try to stop that or nip it in the bud, you're outnumbered everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel sorry for people nowadays.
Mm. Well, and I understand that though, because for me, as a mom, my children are the number one thing that I'm proud of. I'm so thankful for everything else. However, my mom might not have been the best, but that was a constant in my life. I always had a mom, so that wasn't necessarily something I had to overcome. But I would have given anything to have a father that was there. Mm-hmm. And I never had that.
I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, just by asking this question. Do you think that it is better to have a father there that is not the best father, or no father at all, or just no father at all?
I think it depends on the situation, but as long as it's not abusive.
That's what I mean by...
Do you think that it's better to have someone who may be a little checked out? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm asking, what would you think was better, having no father at all, or a father that wasn't going to be a father even if he was there?
I think it's better to have a father there.
Even if he's not even playing that role?
It depends. If it's someone who's there but doesn't necessarily go to every soccer game, someone that's there but doesn't necessarily get on the floor and play with you, right? But's there, and if you need someone to talk to, picks up the phone and answers.
No. I'm talking about a man who is completely checked out. Like, he kind of doesn't even know the kids' birthdays. Like, he's technically there, but he's not really there for the family.
But I think there's different levels of that. Because I, have seen fathers that, just like you're talking about, which was my point, that never had a father. I mean, never had a father. Like, never met him or knew who he was, but never had him physically in his life, And so it's like, I had no example, right? So the fact that I am here, that I acknowledge this child, that I am financially supporting, that I am here if they need anything, everything else, like, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's a huge
You know what
step.
I mean? And, another aspect of that too is I'm not abusing them in any way. Do you know what I mean? I might not be the most engaging parent, but I'm there.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the best that I can, Not that there is an excuse one way or the other, though. I think that's much better than to never have known. Because I think there's a part of you, if you never know your parent, you always go, why didn't they love me?
Yeah.
You're right. What about me was not good enough that they never even wanted anything to do with me, that they could completely check out?
See, I'm a little bit different than most people because I had a moment when I was 10 that freed me from that. So this is the real story, and like you understand, I'm 10, so this is how I'm thinking. So me and this other kid got in a fight at school. We had a substitute teacher, right, and gym class, and he pulled us up there and he said, "I'm not gonna let you two fight." Blah 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 blah. So he's giving us the rundown, and he looks at me and he says, "You know what? I can tell your dad taught you the right way because you look at me in the eye when he's talking to you." So as soon as he said that, in my 10-year-old mind, I'm like, I know how to make myself a sandwich, right? I can do all my laundry. I can do everything I need to do. If this is what a man teaches another man, I'm good. And ever since he said that, all that I didn't know my dad BS went all the way. I never worried about it again. Now you understand, I was 10. And then so fast forward to I'm like 30. I think I met my dad when I was 36.
Yeah.
36?
Yeah.
And then I talked to my big sister when I was like 38-ish, maybe. And she said something to me. She was like, you know what? I'll be honest with you. You should be happy you really didn't know him at the time. And she was like, you know, she told a couple things. And I'm like, maybe I was the lucky one. You know what I mean? So, and Will, my best friend Will, he kind of grew up very similar to me. And in his mind, he's like, something happened to him where he never let that bother him either. Now, all the other friends, it messed him up. But like that was I think I was one of the rare few kids who didn't grow up that way, if that makes sense.
Do you think that has to do with the fact that your mom kind of filled that role too, though, being so stern, being so, you know?
I think so. I think so. I think her, and like I was raised by my aunt too.
Yeah.
I think that helped out a lot.
Tippy, right?
Yeah, Tippy raised me a lot. But I mean, Lola was she was no joke.
Yeah, no. We call her the 5-foot monster.
For a reason. Right? But I remember when I was 11, I graduated from getting spanks to getting punched in the face. And like, I know how bad it sounds nowadays, but at that time, me being a parent now, she was dead right. You understand? She's this little bitty woman. She was spanking me, and I'm bigger than her now, and I caught the belt.
Oof.
It was the dumbest shit I ever did in life. But I caught the belt, and then she looked at me and was like, oh, that's what's up. And then she punched me in the face. And then ever since then, if I ever did anything, she would punch me in the face. And I understand she had to establish dominance. I understand that. And that's just what it was. So, I don't know.
I mean, it's probably better than what Nana did to them.
Oh, yeah, Nanny's jacked them up.
For real. So, you know, we were talking about that earlier. Every generation is a step forward, even if it's just one tiny step. If you don't, let's say you had an abusive father. Okay, you may be checked out, but you're not beating your kids. That's progress.
Right. Well, and I think about it too, though. Is it better to have somebody there? Because if you have someone there and they're completely checked out, it can be the exact same result that you're like, why didn't you ever love me?
Yeah.
You know?
That's my question of, okay, he wasn't there. I don't know. I don't know what it feels like, so I'm just speculating here. I think I would prefer to not have someone there than to have someone there and blatantly not care about me. I think that would mess with me more. Because, like, I'm literally here right in front of you. If you're not looking at me, like, I'm almost like I can make an excuse of, okay, you just didn't see me. So, you're ignoring me, but you're not, like I'm not in the same room as you. But if, like, I'm literally in the same room, like, trying to get your attention, and you're still ignoring me, I think that would hurt me more than somebody not being there at all.
Well, I will say this, and it goes along with what you're saying about, every generation gets a little bit better, right? Having worked for Child Protective Services, right? And having worked with parents who've come out of, they grew up in severe abuse, like severe abuse, with parents who are addicts, everything else. And then they were addicts, and were in, abusive relationships or whatever. Sometimes being a good parent is saying, I'm not in a position to keep you safe.
Yes.
I'm not in a position to be able to give you what you need because I can't take care of me. Right. So therefore, I'm going to put you with grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle,
100%.
Family friend or whatever, because that's the level that I'm at. And me loving and caring for you is saying that I'm not in a place to do that. But I'm going to place you with a family member so that you're not separated from everything else. And they can take care of you. And I can be here on the sidelines when I am healthy to be there for you, And that is them loving you. That is them being a good parent. That's the level that they're at right now.
I agree. I'm completely acknowledging that 100%.
Yeah.
To me, that is what abortion is a big issue or whatever. I don't really want to get into that. But to me, if a woman has decided that she would not be able to provide a good home for the baby that she's going to bring into the world, to me that means that she is 100% self-aware that she would be not be a good mother at that point. And to me, that is something that really needs to be acknowledged, and realizing what can you bring to your child's life. So, yeah, 100%. Those parents are good parents, saying, I'm not fit to be a parent. That's hard to say. Being able to say, I'm not good at something, and I'm not going to be good at something, especially when someone else's, a vulnerable person's life is literally on the line. Yes, 100%.
Well, and that's like we were talking earlier about that is, so in my family, my mother never ever heard either one of her parents ever say I love you. Ever. And then she explained it to me that her parents grew up during the time of the Great Depression kind of thing, and that, you know, they grew up, you know, not having food, that kind of thing. So putting food on the table, you know, and a roof over their head, that was love.
Yeah.
And it never occurred to them to meet emotional needs.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, you know, my grandmother came from where she was one of 13 children, and there was plenty of times they had no food whatsoever. She was married off at 14 years old to my grandfather, who was 25, and a soldier passing through town. And then she had my father at 15. Yeah. You know? So it's a different world. And my mother said when I was born that was a big thing for her. And she was 20 when she had me, of forcing herself to say I love you to me every day, forcing herself so that I would have that. And she said it was so hard for her, which was crazy to me. And my mother said I love you all the time. Like, I never even knew that as a child.
Right.
And it was one of the greatest gifts she could ever give me, because to me, I'm like, I say I love you to my friends before I get off the phone. Like, I have drove my children crazy constantly every day. Every time I leave the room, I love you. And they're like, yeah, I know, you know, like, and it's a norm for them. And that she was able to give me that is like such an incredible gift.
Yeah.
You know?
I understand that, because that happened to me. First time, like, I tell my best friend, like, first time a man ever told me he loved me was my best friend. I was 26. So yeah, that's why I tell Jay all the time. I never heard that shit either. So
Right?
I feel like, so shit, I feel what she means.
Yep.
That's heartbreaking.
I know, but it's beautiful too, though.
It's
beautiful.
It's beautiful being able to provide that for your child, like knowing, like, I didn't have this, and that really messed me up.
Right.
So I'm going to make sure that I do that for, like, my child. Like, that really shows, like, the love a parent has for their kids.
Right.
That they're willing to go the extra mile, do the thing that's super hard. Like, your mom never heard I love you. I don't want to say it physically pained her, but, like, she really had to force herself to get into that habit when she didn't really have to for you. She could have just gone about her business and not really thought about it. But she made the conscious decision to make a better life for you. It's beautiful.
Right. And then I'm like, with my children, it was very, very important to me to break every cycle that I possibly could. You know, every violent cycle, so that my children never went through that, from, you know, domestic violence to addiction to all of these things where, you know, I was terrified to take, you know, anything more than a Tylenol, because having had, you know, a parent that was an addict, to, you know, being consciously aware of any relationship I get in, my children are in a relationship with that person too.
Yes.
To not allow myself to, you know, be in any relationship that would be detrimental to them. You know, those kind of things. And for them, you know, I'm like, it's their job to do better than I did, you know? Which, I mean, I was perfect, so I don't know how they're going to do that. But,
I don't know how that happens.
right. But,
Well, I think you've already passed that on. I mean, I told you before, like, what I think of Hunter and Trinity as parents, like, just how much they love their baby, like, is truly inspiring. Like, they go 100 and 200% for her. Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
right.
Like, wow. And, like, it shows, like.
Yeah.
She's so smart. You know, she's only like, what, 8 months old?
8 months old.
Yeah.
8 months old. And I love the way they talk to her.
Yeah.
I'm like, they 8 months old, and they already tell her that she can, you know, be anything that she wants to be. If she's crying, they're like, you are allowed to cry. You can have those emotions, you know, what's wrong? Like, they talk to her as a person, but are very much into, you know, telling her that everything will be okay, you know, but that how beautiful she is, how smart she is, everything else, already starting that for her, which is putting her in a position as a girl, you know, as a human being, that she is enough exactly the way she is. And for me, having never had that, it's like such a beautiful thing to see, you know, my children doing that with their child and already setting her so far ahead, and she's not even a year old yet.
Right.
But just giving her that unconditional love and support, you know, from the beginning. I think that's life-changing. And if everyone had that, you know, in this world, what kind of world would this be at if we all had that self-love from the time we come into the world, you know?
I feel you.
So, question.
Answer.
What is love to you?
It doesn't just have to be romantic love.
For me personally, I'm starting to understand what the scripture says when it says, God is love, or the Most High is love. And I was listening to this lady today, and because a lot of people get turned off when they say the fear of the Lord, right? And for us as human beings, if we know somebody just loves us, we take advantage of it. You know what I mean? So the fear of the Lord, I'm starting to understand, is the love itself. Meaning that if, for instance, say you're my mom and you present yourself like, hey, look, this is how it's going to be in this house, right? And if you violate those rules, this is what's going to happen, right? So what you're literally telling me is, I love you because I want you to, you know, grow up as a person with some sense. You know what I mean? I love you enough to tell you no. So I'm starting to understand what that really means. You know what I mean? So so to me, love is honesty and just being as honest as you possibly can. To me. So.
I agree, because I've had that conversation with my boys many a time, with the fact that it's much harder to be a checked-in parent than it is to be a checked-out parent.
Oh, yeah.
It is much harder, you know, to set rules, set boundaries, to make you follow those rules, to set standards for you, to make you have to do chores, to make sure you're taking a shower and you're actually using soap.
Yes.
That you're brushing your teeth with toothpaste, you know, all those kind of things. That it's a constant, you know, and having to be checked in like that versus just letting you do whatever you want. Never checking your homework, never checking if you're cleaning your room or washing behind your ears or anything like that. That is showing how much I love you and care for you, being on your ass.
Yeah.
You know, and making sure you're a good, decent, not stinky person.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And that is love. That truly is love.
I agree.
You don't feel like it, though, when you're a child.
Right? But then as you're an adult, I think there's a big thing that happens too. There is, once you get out of your, you know, parents' home and you're out on your own and stuff, you start to recognize things, everything else.
Oh, yeah.
But once you become a parent...
Oh, everything starts making sense.
Lola was right.
Ooh. As a parent, let me tell you the phone call you're waiting for. You're waiting for the call where they call you and they're like, I'm sorry. I love you. I don't know how you did it. And I'm like, hold on. I need to take in this moment. I've been waiting for this.
Yeah.
Go on with yourself. Like, yes.
Proceed.
Right? Preach. Like, yes. That is a
That's the
defining
moment
in my life.
That's the moment.
I've said this 30 times.
Do I? Yes.
I've said it to myself. Man, Lola was right.
Oof.
Have you ever said it to her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think I was like 30. I was like, Mom, you know, 99% of the stuff you told me was right. Spot on right.
Best gift you could ever give her.
Man.
Besides the grandbaby.
I don't know. Well, I already did that. I don't want to ever do it again.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all understand how much I don't like kids no more.
I know how much you don't like kids anymore.
Can I tell you it changes?
I don't want to know.
No, let me tell you. Again, I understand though, because there gets to be a point where I've been raising babies my whole life. I was the oldest of 5, right? And then I proceeded to have a child at 19 years old, which I planned, because I wanted to be a mama. It's a long story. We'll talk about some other time. But, and then you've been raising kids this whole time, and it gets to, when is the me time? Look, I love these babies, but damn, whoo, I'm on the countdown, right? I was never excited about the whole thing of becoming a grandparent, right? Because I've been raising babies forever.
Right.
And all my friends talk about, I can't wait to be a grandparent. I can't wait to be a grandparent. And I'm like, that ain't my problem. Like, that ain't my baby,
Yeah.
That was before the baby. Now that I got the grandbaby, I was talking big game. I was like, they ain't gonna have no control over me, okay? You ain't looking at me with them eyes and thinking I'm gonna fall over. Like, no, I'll send you a gift on your birthday and at Christmas, and peace. I'm gonna be in the RV on the beach, okay? Like, I'm having my own life, right?
Flash forward to now.
Then the baby came, and it was a girl. I had all boys. And I'm like, don't look at me like that. Me and her had many conversations in the beginning. We was having standoffs with the eyes. I was like, I will not be sucked in.
And she'd be like, yes, you will.
Next thing I know, I'm like, you are everything. I love you. What can I do for you?
That happened to me.
Oh my goodness. It's a totally different love. It is a totally different love. And then it's so beautiful seeing your child being a parent. And seeing this generational thing, like that, it's just like, it's like seeing God, and I personally am more of a spiritual person, but to me, this is like everything coming together. Like, it's just amazing thinking of you, were with someone and made that child, and then they are with someone and they made this child. Right? And then you see all these things in this child that remind you of your child, your parent, your grandparent. Like, just seeing all of that coming together.
Into one human being.
I find it dope how one human being can look like two or three different people on both sides.
Yes, and have characteristics.
Yes, that's
like born with them. Like, it's amazing. Smiles and just gestures and laugh and everything. And you're like, and
I think like this is one of my high thoughts. Like when I like people watching, especially
me too.
And I look and I'm like, I wonder which one of these women look like Eve.
Oh.
And I look at them like I wonder who has Eve's lips or Eve's whatever. Now, first of all, I think Eve, she was probably bad in the first place. I was like, Eve was bad. But anywho, but I wonder stupid stuff like that. Like I wonder like who still has some of her characteristics. You know what I mean? And stuff like that.
In this face I'm doing, I know my face is doing this face. I feel like I have this face a lot.
You judge me a lot.
When you talk.
You know what? I'll punch you. Not with my hands, but with my eyes.
You've already punched me before.
When?
When I was younger.
I punched you? With my eyes? It's impossible.
I had bruises.
With what? With my eyes?
No, with your hands.
That never happened.
Okay.
Spell it.
You wouldn't even know if it was right.
You know what? Can I admit something?
You can.
All right, so I want to admit this on air. So I am such a bad and poor speller. I think it's impossible, and it's a miracle that people can actually spell. People who can actually spell right, to me, that is a miracle. I'm just putting it out there. Spelling is so hard. I don't understand it. It's a terrible thing to make somebody do.
Are you better with numbers?
I used to be. And then when they added letters in it, I was no more good.
I was no more good.
No.
The fact that you said no more good.
Right?
No, listen. I went to the state finals in math in 5th grade. Real stuff. Right? And we lost. I forgot what we lost, but I was good at math. And they put me in like advanced classes. And after that, no. You put an X or an H in some kind of equation. Like, why? Who does that in life?
He's like, it's them damn letters
it's
again.
Stupid.
Them damn letters.
I know.
So after that, I was no more good.
Aren't you dyslexic?
Very much so.
I was going to ask that.
Yes.
I'm like, my middle son is dyslexic, and He had the hardest time with that for so long.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes.
It make you angry.
Yes. I'm so dyslexic. First of all,
how dyslexic are you?
In the field that I'm in, you can't be dyslexic because everything has to be in the right thing. So I don't know how he must love me. How I'm still doing this because being dyslexic in the field that I'm in is like you shouldn't.
Let me tell you, Daniel should even be at this table right now because I don't even know how he got here. Daniel is gifted in many things, but let me tell you the two things he is not. One, any type of home repair or like just hanging up a picture. He be on that struggle bus for real.
Listen, here's the absolute truth, okay? I have the sense of duration of a drunk 3-year-old.
No, for real. Like
That's serious. I don't know how. When I was in the Army, put it this way, a female major looked at me and was like, how are you alive? I had to follow her and land nav. That's how bad it is. Right? And if you have to follow an officer in the forest, that is a terrible thing to do in the Army. And I am unhandy. I cannot fix nothing. As much as I've tried my hardest to be that dude, and I'm just not that dude.
Do you know why I think so, though? You're a philosopher.
Is that what it is?
Oh,
I really do.
gosh.
I do, though. He sees deep meaning in so many things, you know, and is able to break it down and to have a discussion, a philosophical, deep discussion about clouds. Like, that was deep.
Daniel has many positive attributes. Daniel's very smart. I'm not saying he's not smart. It's just really funny. Because if you tell him to go somewhere, good luck. Here, I'll give you a story. Daniel and I have great discussions. That's why we like to hang out on Fridays. We ignore the kids, aka Lola and Jaden.
Yes.
We don't tell them we're going anywhere. Like, we just go ride out.
Quit telling secrets.
Have a good day. Oh, yeah, I probably shouldn't be saying this.
No.
But anyway, we like to have a good time together.
Right.
I love hanging out with Daniel. But Daniel navigating somewhere? No.
But, in my defense,
I
have good ideas of where we're going. Like,
no.
hey, let's go do this. The idea is good. Getting there, nah.
When I was younger, Daniel was driving to our house in Georgia. Mind you, he had been there before.
This could or could not be true.
It's 100% true. We can confirm with Lola at another later date. Daniel was driving to our house, and he missed the exit, which happens. But he kept driving. For how long?
About 100 miles.
100 miles.
First of
Do
all,
you not? Hold on. No. Nicole.
that was a deep thought.
Nicole. If you were, like, after 100 miles, that's when you would maybe realize that you've gone the wrong way.
But he's committed.
I was
What? No,
exactly.
don't make
Exactly.
excuses.
Right.
100 miles.
Right.
I was a deep thought, and I was a committed.
Right. But here's the thing, though, too, is that there's many different types of intelligence.
I'm not saying he's not intelligent.
No, I get that. But I mean, on a serious level, but we, as a society, only look at...
Book smarts.
Yeah, just a couple of types of intelligence. And if you don't fit into these, pegs or whatever, then you're not smart.
Yeah.
And there's linguistic, like the reading, the writing, all that kind of stuff. There's logical, which is the mathematical one, and patterns and stuff like that. There's body kinetics, processing stuff through body sensations, that kind of thing. There's spatial, thinking in images or pictures, people who have photographic memories. There's musical.
I envy those people.
Right? Interpersonal, intrapersonal, where there's just so many different types of intelligence. We all have different gifts. But, so many times if you can't memorize this fact, and regurgitate it, or if you can't spell, these words, then you're not smart. And that's so ridiculous. It takes so many different types of people to make society, to make the world work, and to have meaning.
Yes. No, Daniel 100% is way more philosophical than I am. Because I think he allows himself the time to think deeply on things. Like, I am very much like, yo, let's get in, let's get out. Like, I need to get things done. I
had to force myself to do this.
Oh, well, I guess. I don't know.
Is it for peace of mind?
What? Can I tell honest where it came
Yeah.
from? Well, this is my philosophy in life, right? Everything anybody has ever done is for one thing only, and that's for peace of mind. Right? Anything you could possibly think of, you did it for you to have peace of mind, however you wanted it at that time. So yes, it is for peace of mind. But however, not to get religious, but I understand why he's so adamant about taking a Sabbath. Because when you do that, you're literally telling everybody, no, I will not do what you're asking me to do. No, I will not. And that's such, in this world, that's such a foreign, you're a rebel saying some stuff like that. But if you actually do it, you understand why it's such a big deal to him. Because you're literally, that's you and him intimacy time. I'm not thinking about my job. I'm not thinking about, no, I will not help you. Or no, I will not come to work. No, I'm not doing it. So when you actually start to understand why it's such a big deal to him, you like you said, you allow yourself to, because I have all day. Because you can literally say, no, it's a Sabbath. I have all day. I can literally stop and think about whatever I want to. And like we're not allowed to do that no more.
See, and that's a privilege and a beautiful thing because you are taking the time for yourself and what is your priority.
Right.
You know? And I think one of the saddest things is we get so caught up in the doing, that we forget to take time to just be.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And how the present is a gift, this moment right now. And I think that's a beautiful thing that at least once a week, you're dedicating time to you and what is important to you.
I have a vacation once a week.
Yes, absolutely.
And then if I try to follow him, we made a decision and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. That's power.
Right? And that's one of your boundaries.
Yes.
And boundaries are beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? And for me and our family is I have unplugged days. Or I have unplugged time, you know, where we have no electronics, no phones. We'll go out into nature.
Right.
You know, we both share that where we love going out and being in the wilderness or in, you know, out in the forest. And we do not take phones, you know, and we just go and just be in that moment, you know. And I think that not enough people take the time to do that. It doesn't even occur to people. What do you mean go without my phone? What if something happens? We grew up in a time where the only phone, and that was if you had a phone, some people didn't even have a phone,
In the house.
right, was in the house. There was no such thing as taking it with you. You know, it'd be there when you get back.
It's a leash. That's what it is.
Right? You didn't take a TV with you either. That would have been ridiculous. But the thought of going somewhere and not having, you know, being plugged in to the world just seems outrageous nowadays.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that has brought so much stress, depression, anxiety into our life is because it is a constant go, 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 go. And we're never getting off that carousel, you know?
Yeah.
I think not the only thing, but one of the smartest things I ever did in life personally is not get on social media. For me. I think that's the great, because I have never in life said, did you see what so-and-so posted?
Nope.
And it's funny, I said in front of my ex-wife and she agreed with me. And I was like, I don't know anybody happy that has it. So why the hell would I want it? You know what I mean? It's like crack. Like, why are there new crackheads?
You did not!
Why are there crackheads?
That was philosophical.
Whoever
on a
won
whole
that battle,
level.
name a crackhead who won. I will wait.
Well,
Exactly.
sure as hell wasn't Whitney.
It wasn't Whitney.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
And she was rich.
And I'm rich, bitch.
Facts.
Money don't buy happiness.
No, it doesn't.
So,
Ooh. The worse you dance, the better. Like, just let it go. Let it
I can't
free
do
fall.
it. I can't do it. One of my really, really, really good friends, best friends in life, he's a great dancer. Right? And
Oh, Will?
Yeah. Will could dance his ass off. And they used to, you know, be beneficial to him. Me, nope. I'll be on the wall.
Really?
I hate dancing.
Oh.
Well, I hate dancing in public. If I'm in the house.
Oh gosh, I would say no. Show me your shoulders.
Oh, the shoulders is real.
No.
The shoulders.
I said, I only know how to dance 2 ways, right? Like dirty dancing, grinding, like, foreplay.
Right.
And then, like, bad, like, horrible white girl dance. Like, bringing back Roger Rabbit, lawnmower, like, oh, yes. Yes, honey. Running Man.
That's terrible.
Do you bite your lip too?
Oh, I do. Girl, I got Philip.
You be nice.
Yes.
You be nice to people.
Just asking.
You be nice to
I
people.
never said I was a nice
Dancing is a form of
person.
expression.
I never said I was a nice person.
Oh, now
That's
you say it. Now you admit it.
Right?
I have never, not once, ever.
But I love you.
I love you.
I love you.
Country boy, I love you.
No, I love you.
No, you don't know that. You don't know that vine. You
I
guys,
don't.
You guys
I
don't know that.
Do
voice.
you know the honey pay the rent, don't pay the what is it when you get arrested?
the bond?
Yeah. Well, bail.
Bail.
Yeah. Honey, pay the rent, don't pay the bail. You never heard of that?
Where are you from?
Kentucky.
I can tell.
I know, right? That was from an episode of Cops.
Shit, that's funny. Actually, I work with a lady whose Kentucky accent is amazing. Amazing.
Is she a wildcat?
Oh no, yeah, she's a wildcat.
Oh
It's
yeah.
funny, but she'll get a phone call from her mom, and then she'll come back, and that accent will be so damn.
That
thick.
twang.
Oh
it
my
comes
gosh.
out.
Oh yeah.
And it is so. I like making fun of people with accents. Like the chick I'm dating now, she doesn't say bag. She says the big.
The big.
The big. I'm like, why does it have an E at the end of it? Like,
The big.
what is the big? What is the big? It's a bag. B-A-G. It's a bag.
I say washer.
I know. Every single time you say wash, I every single time I'm like hee.
And I have no idea where that came from.
I don't either, cause I'm like I know Nicole's Southern, but she says wash.
Right? But then I'll say car. Yeah. Like
In
car.
the car.
Yeah. Having lived all over.
Who? Okay. What's your favorite What's your favorite United States accent?
Like favorite is it most attractive or
Yes,
just
what
like
is
to
your-
listen to?
What's your both? What's your most attractive and favorite accent?
So I got like 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love like there's something about like a hardcore like Boston,
I knew you were gonna
like,
say that
New
shit.
York, like just like fuck yeah, like accent, like get in the fucking car. Okay, let's go. But then there's also something about that Latino, just like like smooth. Yes, daddy, let's do it. Like
That's American. That's American to you?
yeah, well.
Yeah, text message.
I've lived in like Philly and then like San Bernardino.
Oh, okay,
in my
okay.
youth, so yeah, that's pretty American,
That's fair.
right? And then they all thought my little southern drawl was so cute.
I just realized what I said was super ignorant. I'm just thinking about like to me like that San Bernardino like accent. I'm thinking like, oh, that's from like immigrants that are coming over that are learning English. Like,
Nah, it was Mexican.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got you.
I like
Wow.
I like the Spanish accent. I
Right?
do, especially when like
Ooh, poppy.
when it's but when it comes out like I like getting cussed out in Spanish. I just do.
Right.
It makes me happy when a woman cusses me out in Spanish. It makes me
Right.
happy.
When you don't know whether she's gonna hug you, kiss you, or stab you, you're
Yes.
like, she is passionate about me.
I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
And then
That sounds like trauma right there.
I really, really like a woman with that hard. I know what you feel, that hardcore New York accent.
Right? Ooh.
Listen, fam. Listen, I don't know why, especially if she got some sophistication to her. I don't know why it does something to me, but the best accent of all of life is a dark-skinned woman with an English accent.
Okay, we're doing international. I thought we were like.
I just had that was my big shout out. I just had a shout out.
Okay.
We
sorry.
can do whatever.
Oh,
If you give me
yeah.
a woman,
Right.
Because I think the Mexican accent is an international accent. Like I'm just thinking like straight up like
Latin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like the one that got
because the
away.
Latin accent for sure.
Yeah. That Colombian. Ooh, she was Colombian. Yes. The only 2 chicks I've really dated, both were from Colombia.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one that I met?
Yes. We'll talk about that another day.
Okay. Well,
Anyway,
I guess
so.
I don't know.
What's yours?
I don't know.
What?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I really like a country accent. I don't know.
get
There's
it.
just something about it.
Right?
It's like that low drawl, like.
You like that Southern gentleman.
I like the Southern gentleman.
Not like redneck.
No.
Right,
Not like, I'm take y'all out back, we're gonna go hogging.
Right? No. No.
No.
Southern
Like,
hospitality,
yeah,
gentleman.
Like smooth,
that Southern
the drawl. Like, I
Yeah.
like the drawl.
It's more
Where
like
was Cowboy Boots with the
Charleston, like it's like a Charleston kind of.
Yeah, or like even the Texas accent, I really
Oh
like.
yeah.
Like it's like really like southern,
Yes.
like cowboy.
Yes.
I like that accent.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite. But who do I just like to listen to? Like, I love to hear you speak. I definitely love to hear Northerners speak.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. We're all like, it's sex on a stick, and you're like, it's hilarious.
No, it's just like those are the people. Like they speak their words. They mean their words. Like they are so passionate.
passionate, everything,
I
telling
love
you
that.
off, telling you they love you.
Like everything is like a punch in the
right.
face.
How good that pizza is. Everything.
I love that.
Cats from California, their accent, especially brothers from California, right?
It's so
It's
weird.
weird, but it's weird though because it's slang, but it's so proper.
It is.
Yes,
It's proper
yes.
slang.
It's
Yeah.
like they enunciate every syllable,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so like to like you like if somebody
Buster.
calls you a buster over there, they mean I'm gonna fuck you up,
Right.
and then you're like a buster. What's a buster? But yeah, it's that is confusing to me because sometimes you don't know what like if they're really what's about
What's
to go
good.
down. Yeah, what is really good.
I also just love to hear like Midwesterners talk. They just sound so cute. I don't know. I just associate everything they say with just like, oh.
Oh.
I just think of mothers. Like every time I think of a Midwestern accent,
I just think of a mother.
Just
Like
a- just a
I'm just
mom.
like, oh,
like
that's so
I'm
cute.
sure they'll appreciate that.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm not like patronizing way. I'm just like, oh, like they sound like they care about people. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like when they talk, like I'm like, oh,
because
like,
Northerners they don't care about you.
yeah, no.
Well, it's not that they don't care. You
If they
know.
don't care, get out the way. I gotta go.
I
They're
feel
in my
like it's
way.
just that they care so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so loud and proud and just like
Two kinds of
ooh.
people.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, like nobody cares about you the same way like a Midwestern mom does.
That's fine. They're gonna feed you.
They gonna feed you. Most likely some with
Food
cheese
is
in it.
love.
Yeah.
Uh,
A
they-
Southern mom will do the same too. But that's changed a lot though. Because when I first got to the South, that Southern hospitality was still there.
Mhm.
Now it's like I blame it on social media, like you said. Nobody talks to each other no more. But now it's not there no more.
See, and that's always been a big thing at my house. And I don't know if that was growing up poor, growing up Southern, or what. But with my children, it was always like when their friends were over or whatever. If you're at my house and it's mealtime, you're sitting down eating. I don't care. You're getting fed. So then the same kids show up every day
Right.
around
Yeah.
mealtime, and we don't ask no questions.
Right.
It's just, this is the rule. You sit down and you have a meal, and
Lil was like that growing up.
yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because I'm such a weird dude. 'Cause when I was growing up, everybody hung out at my house. We all hung out at my house. Lola was
That's the way it was with me too, because it was.
Yeah.
I would rather all the kids be playing at my house because I know what's going on and it was the safe place,
Right.
Versus my kids be at somebody else's house and I don't know what's going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
It can look great from the outside, but what's going on inside? So everybody hang out here.
I'm a weird dude because now I don't want anybody in my house. I don't want nobody in my house for some reason.
Oh, Lola would be like, when are they going home?
Yeah, she loves
She would
going
ask
out.
for real. She'd be like, when are you going home?
Your mother.
You're more than welcome, but when are you going home?
She would let Will get it. Like Will wouldn't have to ask. We would just be there. It was just, cause it was just whatever. We never had to ask to stay at each other's house, which was dope. But yeah, she'll let you know it's time to go. But I don't like nobody in my house. And I know how weird it sounds because I was wondering about Jay because he was such a loner kid. But now I'm like, I'm not in mind that because I didn't have to worry about nobody's kids being in my house.
See, but I can understand this because you know how my policy is, my house. So when it comes to kids, like my children's friends, oh, everybody can come in, right? But when it comes to adults, I'm real protective about who I let in my house. I'm very much about the energy of my home, and making it a safe place for my children, for my grandchildren. And I don't want nobody messing with this aura. I've worked very hard to make sure this is a very peaceful, just kind, loving. And y'all been in my home. I'm like, you come in, you're family. Help yourself to anything you want. But nobody's getting through that door unless it's someone that I do consider family. Because, you are in my home, which is very protective. And I think a lot of times, social media, all that kind of stuff, we allow so much and so many people in our home that we don't even think about it anymore. Yeah. Whether it's on TV or YouTube or whatever, and nothing against any of that, but, you allow that in your home, but you wouldn't allow those type of people in your home, but it's the exact same thing.
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm a conspiracy dude, so I agree with you 100%. Like, what you absorb through your eyes and your ears is the same exact thing.
As if it's right there live and in person, and we have to be protective of that.
If you're watching it, at that point, you're condoning that behavior.
Right? And it never occurred to me until I had children about that, and not wanting my children to be, around that. And then especially having a grandchild, like, it's just even 10 times stronger. Like, no, I don't want you to hear any of that.
Because I remember when I heard it when I was younger, I was like, man, you're just being paranoid. But, like, when you get older, you're like, oh, no, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
You are the company you keep.
Yeah.
And whatever you're hearing, just like what you tell yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So, any closing?
And on that note, anything else you want to talk about? Are you good?
I'm good. I had a good time.
You had a good time? I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Had a good time. Talked for a long time. It's going to be a long one. We're probably, over 2 hours.
That's my shoulders that did it.
Yeah, it was definitely your shoulders.
First of all, listen. I'm tired of you shoulder haters, yo.
Oh my gosh. I've already acknowledged to you that you have broad shoulders.
Thank you. But I'm saying this is 40 inches of hell right here, okay? And I hate the fact that people don't acknowledge the shoulders. Okay?
No one is not acknowledging your shoulders right now.
First of all, there's haters everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just going to let you know that this is an audio podcast. And nobody can see your shoulders.
They can feel
so
it.
your shoulders can be as big.
My shoulders have their own spokespeople.
No, oh gosh, are we gonna do this again?
I'm just letting you know.
No.
How many people got, I'm just saying.
My gosh.
We're gonna have to have pictures.
That deserves a video. The one time Daniel did that, it was too much.
Right.
It was too much.
Are we gonna have to TikTok it out?
Oh yeah, it was a lot.
Get shoulders.
Sometimes
shoulders with Daniel.
Sometimes I could be a little bit much.
What?
However, though, in my defense, to me it's funny.
That's all that matters. As long as you make yourself laugh, right?
Listen, man. What else? It's not. There's not much more to life than that.
It's true.
Absolutely.
I'm just here to have a good time. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
I'm here forever. I'm gonna make it to 106.
But I just mean in life.
Goals.
I disagree with both of you guys' stances.
What? You're here for a long time and a good time?
I like the way you put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can I say one of the G's things I ever heard in life?
Absolutely. Is this your closing moment?
This is my closing moment. So this is how you know you're grown, right? Because we all say some stuff. Like me, when I get tired, I'll say, oh, I'm about to go get inside of the bed.
Yeah.
Or I'm about to go, right?
I was totally going a different way with that. Okay, go ahead.
Or like my favorite one is, I'm about to go fuck some sleep up. You know what I'm saying?
I was not wrong with
So I'm chilling with my lady, and we're sitting there eating dinner, and she's the G'est thing. The way she put it, I'm not even giving it, but the way she put it was so dope. She was sitting there, and she said, you know what? I don't want to be up no more. Let's go to bed. And the inside of me touched the inside of her. Right? Because I was so overwhelmed with love and joy that she said that. And the way she said it, I was like, I've never heard anybody put it in such a G mode ever. I don't want to be up no more. So I'm going to bed.
You are into her.
No,
you are into her.
I tell you, Daniel, anytime anytime
He
you
got
love
it
somebody,
bad.
notice. No. Don't press that
No,
button.
I'm just saying that's no. Listen, I'm not going there. Don't go there. I'm just saying that is a G
Oh,
thing
you already
to
know
say.
what I'm gonna say.
Don't say it. The only thing I'm saying that's a G thing to say to somebody.
It is. I love it.
I don't
absolutely
disagree
love
with
that.
her.
Yeah.
Or with you.
I'm just saying I've never heard it that way. Don't start that.
Right?
I didn't say anything.
Don't be jinxing.
I'm not. Oh, I am not jinxing
Okay.
when I say this.
Don't you do it.
As your sister, I'm gonna for once do what you asked me.
Thank you.
Oh, tear.
Listen, my heart hurts your heart.
Love you too. You're the best.
You heard it here.
All me
Love.
loves a little bit of you.
Just a little bit.
I mean, it grows and it shrinks and then it grows.
Sibling love. So, if you haven't been told today, we love you.
Yeah, you right.
I am not going to agree with any of those statements.
Hakuna Matata.
It is a pleasure to share life with you. Put it that way.
To serve life with
To
you.
share life with you.
Oh, share a life.
Because a lot of you people are just people. And I love you. And I don't mean it. But I love you. And I mean it this time. And I love you. And I've always meant it.
He said that to Nicole, not to me.
I am family. Hear me roar.
We've already established this today.
I'm so happy.
Any hoozles.
Any
Okay.
hoozles. If no one's told you today, maybe you need to say it to yourself. I see you. I hear you. And I acknowledge you. And I love you.
And you're important.
And you are important.
You are important.
Self. You
You-
some broad shoulders.
Have worth.
You have
are
worth.
perfect just how you are.
I
So
disagree with that last story, but okay.
he just likes to disagree. He just needs to have an opposite opinion.
Oh, 100%.
No, that's Jane.
No, don't you do him that way when he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That's not me.
All right. Peace.
All right. Love you guys. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Aurora. I'm speaking from the future. I really hope you guys have enjoyed these past 2 episodes. Nicole and I had so much fun recording with Daniel, and we have been sitting on these episodes since October. And we're like, it's just not the right time. Let's release this one. But we finally felt, you know what? Let's start the new year off right with Daniel. It got deep when it needed to. It was light just when you needed it. And stay tuned for more episodes like this. Oh, don't forget to subscribe and like on YouTube. Don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and all your podcasting platforms. Okay, love you guys. Bye.